Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening's broadcast on Maconi Entertainment. My name is Ian Fisher, and I am thrilled to be joined tonight in the booth by Joey Attenbury and Ryan Bauer working the controls as our producer. Our camera angles tonight are provided by Dougie Beard, and tonight's event is the return of Fast Fridays presented by Maconi Setup Shop. For those of you who might be tuning in for the first time, Fast Fridays is Maconi Setup Shop weekly oval and road racing series that features the new NASCAR Next Gen cars and alternates between road and oval circuits weekly. Tonight, our action comes to you from Phoenix Raceway, home of the championship races for all of NASCAR's top series. Next week, our schedule will take us to our first road course across the ocean in Japan and the Tsukuba circuit. And we do want to take a moment here on Maconi Entertainment to give a shout out to anybody that may have been affected by Hurricane Ian. If you were affected by Hurricane Ian in the past couple of days, we do hope that this broadcast tonight could be a slight requisite from what you've gone through in the past couple of days. And just know that our thoughts and prayers are all with you here at Maconi Entertainment. But tonight, Joey, we're here at Phoenix Raceway. I mentioned it is the home of all of NASCAR's championship races. And why don't we take a look at this place? We don't have the open dog leg tonight, but we can still take a look here at Phoenix Raceway.
Yeah, you're right. We are here at Phoenix Raceway, the old version, not the new repave version. So we are going to be using the old turn one, meaning that the start-finish line is opposite of the dog leg. Not how it is currently. And then if you want to go back in history a little bit, this place was first opened in 1964. It still runs races to this day, and it hosts top four of NASCAR Series Championship. The Cup, the Xfinity truck, and it also features the ARCA guys there. It is a 1 mile track, and it has 11 degrees of bankings in turn 1 and 2. 3 in the straightaways, and then 9 degrees in turns 3 and 4. So it is a little bit of an odd-shaped oval. It is not uniform on 1 and 2 to 3 and 4. It definitely mixes things up.
Well, and it's going to be a...
Go
ahead, sorry.
Yeah,
well,
no.
I was going to say, it's going to be a challenge for our drivers tonight, because really this is a unique circuit. You kind of mentioned it. It's that oblong, almost... I wouldn't say egg-shaped configuration, but it's a very unusual track configuration, not like any other oval track we kind of see here on the surface, Ryan. So what can these drivers kind of look for today, and what's going to be the difference here that gets it done?
Yeah, I think that there's going to be quite a few different driving styles that might make their way forward throughout the race. As you mentioned, that there might be cars that are faster in 1 and 2 or faster in 3 and 4. We might see some of the cars really dive down the dog leg and take advantage of that shortcut, if you will. And so I think the racing should stay very exciting tonight, and I'm really excited to see what these 60 laps or 40 minutes are going to bring us.
Yeah, 60 laps or 40 minutes. It's important to remember that 40-minute time limit there. That's going to be whatever comes first here tonight here at the Phoenix Raceway. We're, of course, in the NASCAR Next Gen Cup Series car, so you have the Ford Mustang, the Chevy Camaro, and then also the Toyota Camry TRD as well. I mentioned again, 60 laps, 40 minutes, whatever comes first. These drivers will have one fast repair there if they need it, and they will have 3 green-white checker attempts. No tire limits and 100% fuel load, so I don't think we're going to be seeing many pit stops for fuel, Joey, but we might see somebody come down and take some tires there maybe later on in the race.
I think you hit the nail on the head here. These guys should be pretty good on fuel, but tires are important, and depending on how these yellows fall, I think that we will see guys take advantage of that no tire limit here. And speaking of yellows, we will be using the iRacing controlled yellow system, and really looking forward to seeing everybody mix it up out there in these NASCAR Next Gen cars.
Yeah, and speaking of mixing it up, just to go over our format tonight, there is a possible of 62 maximum entries here in this race to this evening. So 30 people are going to qualify on time from our qualifying session, which is just wrapping up here. And then if needed, we will have an 8-lap consolation race. 3 drivers will advance from the consolation race if we need to do that. And then again, it'll be our 60-lap or 40-minute feature, whichever comes first. So it looks like Joey is qualifying, is wrapping up right now. We could possibly... I'm seeing 13 drivers on a timing tower, so I'm kind of trying to figure out if we have that consolation race yet or not. We'll find that out for a minute for you here. But really, let's talk about it a little bit. If we do have that consolation race, what's the mentality of a driver there going for it in 8 laps here at Phoenix?
Get out of my way. I'm going to the front no matter what. And if you're at the front, you better be watching your mirrors, having your spotter turned on, and probably watching with your head on a swivel out there because you want to make it to the main. Now, everybody wants to race respectfully out there, and that's the number one goal, is to have fun tonight. But you got to make your way to the front, and usually that means aggression.
Yeah, and right now it looks like we do have a consolation race, but I only see one car out on the track right now, Joey. So kind of an interesting situation that we'll have here. Not entirely sure what we're doing as far as that goes. We might be able to get some input from Jeff Maconi, the owner of Maconi Setup Shop, and it looks like we are going to have a heat here. So that's going to be interesting to say the least with a single car out on track, Joey.
Well, let's really dive down into this, what looks like the number 13 car, which is going to be coming to take the green flag here of Heat 1 here at Phoenix Raceway.
You know what? We're gonna make the most of this, Joey. This is nice here. We have the
it.
onboard shot right now. Let's take everybody, I guess, through a lap of Phoenix Raceway here.
Well, it looks like Jaden is coming off of the gas a little bit and might be parking and hopping out of the car. So it looks like we're just going to go straight to the consolation, maybe. But it would have been great to ride along with them in this lap around Phoenix Raceway. But I know that we're just getting the administrative side figured out, and we can get all of these. How many cars is it again? 30 plus cars out here on track?
At least more than 30, because that's why we're having our consolation race. Once it refreshes here, I'll be able to give you a full car count. But right now, it looks like we are going to have a consolation race. So remember, that's going to be 5 minutes or 8 laps, whichever comes first. And I believe the top 3 will be going through to the feature race from this consolation as well, if the format sticks the way that it does. So we are having some difficulties, I think, with the session setup. So I believe, like I said, we're going to see 3 drivers, Joey. It does say 1 driver advancing on the iRacing session right now, but I do believe we can manually change that, and 3 drivers will make it through from our consolation race.
Yeah, and I don't see this as a problem at all. The way I see this is that everybody wants to come out and race here with Maconi Entertainment in these awesome Fast Fridays. I say bring it on. I say bring more people. The more, the merrier. I know that we love having everybody signed up out here and participating with us on these Fast Fridays.
Yeah, and remember, this is going to be a weekly series, and we're going to go back and forth, alternating between road courses and ovals. Next week, we go to Japan, Tsukuba Circuit. I mentioned it at the top of our broadcast, Joey. So that's going to be a really interesting. I believe I did a little bit of research on this earlier, and NASCAR has been to Suzuka Circuit, and there's also been the Twin Ring Motegi. Now, correct me if I'm wrong there, but I don't think we've ever seen Tsukuba Circuit touched by a NASCAR stock car before, at least in real life.
Oh, definitely not. The only time you would ever see something like that is if somebody was in Japan, had one of these cars, and wanted to take it out on a vintage day. But Tsukuba, the best way I can describe it is very much like our Lime Rock Park, if you're familiar with road racing tracks. It is a little itty-bitty bull ring of a track. So it's bound to provide a lot of excitement packed in a little area.
And then we're looking forward to Tsukuba next week. That's really going to be exciting. And maybe for a little bit more insight, we can go to Jeff Maconi, owner of Maconi Setup Shop. And what are you looking forward to in this Fast Friday series as we get started here this week, Jeff?
I'm looking for this session to work because now it's starting the consi when we thought we had another 3 minutes of the heat race. So, and now there's nobody in the consi. iRacing, thank you, because your system worked when I tested it earlier today, and now it does not. So,
yeah, well, we noticed, with all these people joining up, it's great to see everybody signing up, but I think it just kind of threw a curveball with the administrative setup here, and I know that you're working hard on your side to get everything squared away. That way everybody can get out there and race tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm just looking it over now, so we're going to play it by ear. We had enough people in here, so we'll get it sorted, and if anyone catches the short end of the stick on this one, it's an iRacing issue, but we'll make it right. We'll compensate them with setups or paint schemes, whatever they want to do to make it right. But yeah, I think tonight's event, after this, now that we're getting all the kinks out of it, is going to be a lot of fun. Fast Fridays was a series we started up, gosh, last year, right when the next gens first came out, and we were the first series to have an event with them. We did it literally the Friday, 2 days after they came out, and it was a major event. We worked with Richmond Raceway to put that on, and it was a ton of fun. I still remember the finish. Briar LaPrade, I think, wrecked Zach Novak or vice versa. Jimmy Mullis got wrapped up in there somehow, and Garrett Maines was in it, and it was a whole ordeal. I think Briar LaPrade won it, though.
I think I remember that one, actually. That was a good one. Yeah.
So we started up this series last year with all of that, and right now we're bringing it back, which I'm very, very, very excited about. So we alternate between ovals and road courses. So we put up a vote on Twitter. We got, I think, like 50 votes. And people wanted to do Phoenix 2008, and then second place was Tsukuba. So we're going to run Tsukuba next week, and then I want to say it wasn't Thompson. It was another oval. It might have been Thompson. And then, gosh, what was the other road course? Either way, I'll go back and check, but we're going to switch between ovals and road courses each week, and we're going to make this a free series for people to come in and enter and race in, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So as soon as we get through the technical issues, we will be golden. But Fast Fridays, for those of you that don't know, free series now. We were going to make it $10 to enter and a prize pool and everything else, but it's more fun if it's free. Fixed setup from Maconi Setup Shop and broadcasted on Maconi Entertainment each and every Friday night, and it's an hour long. So nice, short, sweet, and a good amount of fun.
Well, and I won't blame you, Jeff, for getting the schedule. I know you have a lot on your plate right now, and I do have to ask this. With the VR headset that you have there, does that just give you more of a range to admin more effectively? I mean, what's the depth of field like when you're in those menus?
Well, I can see everything. And what's really nice is I can turn my head, so I can, like, oh, there's the sun, and oh, now I'm looking at. The problem is sometimes I hit my microphone button right here when I'm looking around like that. But I can look around and see everything. Plus, I really enjoy racing in VR. I feel like it takes iRacing from a game to a simulation, personally, because you're in the car, everything's rendered in 3D around you, and you can see and feel and adapt really, really well. And it's also why I wear these seatbelts, not just for fun, but it also really helps to have something anchoring you to a physical point. And with that ability, I don't get motion sick. So I have to undisqualify Jaden. And
yeah, well, I just wanted to pitch in here, looking at you in your sim. It looks like you're full-on Iron Man, about to hop in your own Mech Warrior over there and take to this Phoenix Raceway track and demolish everybody.
That's the goal. I mean, if all goes well, I'll take this Maconi Setup Shop, Maconi Entertainment, Maconi Competizone now, because we just launched that, the Sim Racer movie, WSMN Broadcasting, a Bruzy Racewear, and I can't look down and double check everything. We got the Sim Racer movie, WSMN Broadcasting, the Sim Racer movie, a Bruzy, and Ron, the snack guy, who sent me a whole bunch of snacks earlier. I don't have one sitting next to me because I've been snacking on them in my kitchen, but he sent me a whole bunch of stuff, and it's a lot of food, which I'm very, very excited about. So I'm going to try and put this 03 car up front and have a good time. I did not turn any laps beforehand because I stepped outside for the first time today and was in a hammock, but I got in the car. I ran below a 29, so I'm happy about that, and we'll go from there.
Well, Jeff, I always see this in the background as well, too, and I always see the pet fountain you have back there as well. So you get yourself Maconi pet fountains, I guess, next to be the next logical step here. But I do have some good news for you, Jeff. We have cars on track right now. We're in our warm-up session, so there's a good sign. At least we can get cars on the track, and it looks like everybody's getting prepared for tonight's 60-lap or 40-minute feature race here.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a great session here. Definitely going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, that's Danica. So for those of you that don't know, I have a cat named Danica Catrick, and I love her to death, and that's her little water fountain there. I don't know, maybe Maconi Pet Fountains is coming up next. I catch flack all the time. People were making fun of it this week that I have 3 different LLCs, to which I say, kind of a weird thing to flex on me on, but okay. This guy's got companies. What a loser. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Maconi Pet Fountain's next. I saw a Twitter account that suggested I do Maconi IT support and Maconi Pizza. So maybe those are the next steps. I have no idea.
Well, if you get Maconi Pet Fountain set up, I know I got 2 golden retrievers over here, Noodle and Jet, that would love some of that water.
There we go. Maybe that's the next step. I don't know. I took that whole thing apart and cleaned it top to bottom like 2 days ago, and I'm really glad I did for the sake of the cat.
Those they can get nasty very quick. But also, if you do happen to start the Maconi pizza venture, I think free pizza for all of us up here in the booth, Joey, is completely reasonable request to have.
I don't see why it wouldn't happen.
But oh well, thank you guys for doing this broadcast. I'm really excited for it. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in and watching, and everyone that's out here racing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think this is going to be a really, really good race. So we'll see how it goes. I'll try and get myself up to the front. I think I'm starting 17th.
And it sure will be a lot of fun for sure. That was Jeff Maconi, owner of Maconi Setup Shop, Maconi Entertainment, Maconi Competizione, and other ventures as well, putting on the race for us here tonight. Got about 45 seconds left in our warm-up session here, Joey, and it's go time. We don't have any of the consolations. We've gotten through all the pre-race jitters and everything like that, all the setup issues, but in a few moments here, we're going to be racing from the virtual Phoenix Raceway, and these guys are going to go for 60 laps, 40 minutes. It's going to be a nice little short run sprint here. I'm excited to see how this race will develop. There's not going to be really much time to get into a rhythm. You kind of have to go right from the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, it is a good time to shift into that race mode, as warm-up is just got about 10 seconds left here. These guys are just knocking the rust off, if you will. And I'm really excited to see these cars grid up 2x2. And then should have just a couple pace laps here and get going with this exciting race tonight. And I see Barney waving the checkered flag right now to end this warm-up session. And let's go ahead and take a look at these qualifying results if we got them.
Take a look here at your started grid soon here, Joey. I know it takes a few seconds for iRacing to figure out where it's at, but it looks like we have 33 drivers here tonight, and starting on your pole will be David Shutt. On the outside, the 99 machine of Ryan Shelton will join him there on the first row. In the third position, we have Adam Ricci in the 2 car, and Colin Weatherholt in the 12 machine, rounding out your second row. For number 3 is going to see Joseph Gajavia in the 47 machine, and Greg McDaniel in the 30 machine. And number 7 in the 34 machine is going to be Dominic Scafidi. Joining him on the 4th row will be Dustin Veldhusen, and then Terry Henry and TJ Elaine will round out your top 10 there, Joey.
Yeah, looks like they're in 11th place. We got Justin Mons in the number 41 car. Lining up beside him will be Brandon Kiger. Ricky Thompson in 13th place, followed by the number 209 car, Bob Hogue. Joey Masowich there in 15th, and Elijah Brown. We got our own fearless Jeff Maconi rounding out the top 17 there, starting in 17th. And lined up next to him will be Jeremy Niven. Then we got Julian Ricci and Eric LeBombard rounding out the top 20.
And P21 will be the 29 machine of Jeremiah Forbes and Dominic Calloway in the 26 machine. 23rd position will be Jesse Main, and the 24th will be Nick McClelland. 25th, Ed Gobick. 26th, Anthony Taylor. 27th, Ray Lane in the 44 machine. And from number 45, Michael Sarley will be P28. 30th position will be Louis Philip Labarte, and Austin B. Taylor will have position number 31. And rounding out our 33 car field here will be Ryan Rose and Logan Romney. So field coming around our turn 4 here. Now remember, the start-finish line is on the other side of the racetrack that you might be used to here. Take a look at our weather conditions: a 68-degree air temperature and a 90-degree tack temperature. Barney the flagman has the green flag ready, and we're green flag racing here. We have trouble already from the start-finish line. The 12 and the 47 get together. A few cars there at the back of the pack. immediately the yellow flag comes out. Joey, what happened there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like the number 12 of Colin Weatherholt was in the outside lane and might have gotten a bump there that sent him around right on the initial start. I know these cars are going up through the gears and have sequential boxes, but as we look at this replay right here, see if we can take a look and see if it was just wheels. Yeah, looks like it was just some wheel spin that caught out the number 12 car. And unfortunately, he turned it around in front of everybody and had quite a few get stacked up in that. But I think we'll have everybody dive down to pit road, get some repairs, and get back out on this racetrack.
Yeah, and that's your 12 car of Ricky Thompson. And we look on board with Maconi here and just nowhere to go. Gets tapped from the outside, nose into the outside wall. And I'm sure a lot of those drivers, especially Ricky Thompson, that's not how they were looking to start this race, Joey.
No, I know that quite a few cars got collected in that. I wouldn't doubt to see 5, 6, 7 cars get collected and have damage throughout that start. You know, that 12 car was just right there in the front of the field, and as you're coming up to that, there's not really anywhere you can go. There's cars all over the place, there's tire smoke, you kind of got to pick an area. Hopefully you get your car slowed down enough and get clear of everything, but that's not always possible.
And we always hear in racing that cautions breed cautions, and I guess in this situation we were kind of under a pseudo caution, you know what I mean? It's a restart off of the green flag here for our initial start here from Phoenix Raceway, and you kind of said it, Joey. There's nowhere to go once things start happening in front of you here. We'll kind of take a look at our top 5 and who actually made it through that, because that shook things up a little bit. David Schutt is still your leader after claiming the pole position. Ryan Shelton, Adam Ricci, Greg McDaniel, and Philip Henry now your top 5. Of course, a couple of cars involved there, and it was kind of interesting how that wreck developed, Joey, because really the start of the field there missed it. And then once we got about mid-pack towards the back of our pack, really, like you said, nowhere to go for these drivers.
Yeah, well, it really looks like, you know, I know Colin pretty well, and he traditionally races Indy cars. I know that he's coming over to participate in Fast Fridays. Happy to have him here. And I think it was just a wheel spin that caught him out on that initial green flag drop. And as you see, his car dipped to the left first and just had a big, you know, tail slapper, as we call it, and unfortunately the car came back up onto the racetrack, and that's where really a lot of the catastrophe happened for everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to correct myself a little bit here. I said it was the 33 car of Ricky Thompson that spun initially. It was actually the 12 machine of Colin Weatherholt. He finds himself on pit road again. We only have 2 cars so far a lap down. Jeremiah Forbes, unfortunately, our own Jeffrey Maconi finds himself 1 lap down right now, but it looks like a few cars are going to be getting in the wave around this time by. So field to go back to 2x2, and we'll try again here from Phoenix Raceway. Only going to be 5 laps down as they cross the stripe this time by. So we do have that 40-minute time limit here, Joey, and I don't think we're getting close to any of that yet, but obviously this isn't how we wanted to start our race. But as a driver, what do you think about, you know, there's a lap count, but there's also a time count as well, and there's an early caution.
Yeah, I think that this is purely reset mode. You know, the race really never got started. So I think if I'm behind the steering wheel right now, it is just, let's go get racing again. This is the exact same thing as the race start, and we'll see if it settles out here and we get some green flag running, because that's what I think most of these guys want, is just kind of settle in, run some laps, and get racing.
And I'm trying to see right now. I'm not sure. The pace car lights may be out. We might be going to a single file restart here, Joey, so we'll see. No, it doesn't look like the pace car is going to dive this time. I've seen that happen sometimes if there's that early caution. Sometimes they'll go to a single file start just to get things going. I thought we might have been seeing that this time, but it looks like the field will stack up 2x2 this time by, and we'll be back to green flag racing here. Maybe 1 more lap, though, as I see the field coming by here. Still in single file. I'm trying to see the lights, but I'm having a hard time, I'll be honest with you, on the pace car.
Yeah, it looks like... Actually, let me go ahead and take a look, because I can go ahead and do that. It does look like the pace car lights are off on the pace car right now. They might be lined up single file, it looks like, with the number 5 car of David Schutt in this PG-13 Camaro leading the way. And should get together with some green flag racing. I know that the number 12 car didn't mean anything by that, but hopefully we'll have some nice green flag as we approach that restart zone here.
Yeah, just cold tires, I think, unfortunately, for the 12 machine. And if he qualified that far up in the pack, he's got to have some skill as a driver. So I think it's just one of those mistakes sometimes that happens as your driver. But the pace car will take the sharp left turn on a pace road. Field of control of David Schutt here. It's an early restart, so we're back to green flag racing here at Phoenix. And we'll see if the field can kind of settle in here and get some green flag racing under the belt this time. Bye, Joey.
Looks like everybody gets through the front straight cleanly as they all cycle through turns 1 and 2. The number 5 car continues to lead through the old dog leg as he looks like he's got a good commanding jump on the rest of the field, leading the number 99 of Ryan Shelton, followed by Adam Ricci there in 3rd place.
Yeah, that's your top 3 so far as they come back to the stripe. This will be lap number 7 here tonight. We go on board now with Justin Mons in the 41 car. You look there, we got the onboard shot also with the rig as well. And you can see these drivers, just how much focus it takes to navigate around Phoenix Raceway here. Making a little brake bias adjustment there, I believe, Joey, and that's important here. You mentioned the 2 different bankings and the 2 different turn configurations here we have at Phoenix Raceway. A lot of in-car adjustments tonight for these drivers.
And not only that, but everybody drives a little bit differently, and this is a fixed setup provided by Maconi. And what that might mean is that he might just prefer a little bit looser or a little bit tighter going into the brake zone, so he's just doing the adjustments that he can right now. So props to him for kind of searching around to try to find that speed, as it looks like we've got another caution on the racetrack. Looks like the number 93 of Ed Gubick finds himself turned around on the dogleg portion of this racetrack.
Yeah, that's the dogleg coming out of turn 2. We'll get a look at what happens here. And there is the 93 machine of Gubick right now. He's going to feed it into turn 1. We'll see what happens here. It happens on the exit of 2, and just a little bit of a bump there from the 42. And that's enough to send it around, especially when you have that much wheel input in your car there.
Yeah, it was tough to tell from that camera angle. Maybe, they got loose in front of him, and the 42 just got a great run as Jeffrey Maconi had a fantastic view of that incident. Just says, hey, I'll take this inside line in those positions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and Jeff already had a little bit of practice with accident avoidance earlier in this race, so really the 03 machine of Jeffrey Maconi having a hard time staying out of danger here early from Phoenix Raceway.
Well, I think that when you put this many cars on such a small racetrack, there needs to be a lot of give and take. And right now, everybody's amped up, and it's all take right now. And I think once these guys settle in a little bit, that the give and take will kind of come into effect, and maybe we'll see some really good long green flag racing here.
We have one car on pit road right now. That's the 12 machine of Colin Weatherholt. Looks like he's still getting some more repairs after that early incident. We only have one other driver that is laps down, and that's Elijah Brown right now. Finds himself 4 laps down, so he's going to get one of those back this time by with the lucky dog here, Joey. But again, another early caution here. Only about 5 or 6 laps in this green flag run, and does that make it difficult as a driver? Do you have to, work a little bit harder to maintain focus, or could this play into some of our drivers here tonight?
I think you just answered your own question. I think it could play into the hands of some drivers, and other drivers maybe need a few laps to get in the groove. So I think it, once again, depends on your driving style, but the one constant here is the setup. So we're not having cars that have really good short run speed or cars that have really good long run speed. Everybody is on that Maconi setup here tonight. It looks like these cars are hooked up around this Phoenix racetrack. It was just a little contact here that's caused this yellow to come out.
Yeah, and so easy to just upset one of these cars, especially at speed. And like we mentioned, when you find yourself putting that much wheel input into a machine like that, it's really easy to just get the car loose in the rear tires like that when you give somebody a bump. And in that last little green flag run, we did see David Schutt kind of get out to a little bit of a lead there. Joey able to open up about a 0.3 of a second lead. I was actually just going to mention it before the caution flag came out. But we did see a good battle there between Ryan Shelton and Adam Ricci for that second position throughout that run.
You're right. The number 99, number 2 cars were really kind of accordioning back and forth there, and just maybe trying to figure out where to poke the nose to make that move. The number 5 car, David Shutt, definitely had a commanding lead there. So we'll see if either of these cars that have been trailing him have the speed to take it up there, because they were right there with him. David definitely didn't leave him in the dust. It's just they need to figure out their position and maybe take the fight to the number 5 car.
Yeah, and really that's what we're going to have to do if anybody is going to make a challenge to David Schutt so far and his, I don't want to say dominance of this race, but at least supremacy. You can see now on your screen the cars are lined up 2 by 2. So we're going to go back to green flag racing here side by side, Joey. And what do you think? Are we going to get through this clean, or are we going to see another caution right off the bat?
I think that these guys have taken a few deep breaths. They've calmed down a little bit. And I think we're going to see some good green flag racing here as the pace car is about to dive to pit road.
Diving to pit road, the pace car will take that turn right now. It's going to be lap 14 when we go back to green flag racing. You see Barney the flagman with his flag in his hand. And we are green here again from the Phoenix Raceway. David Schutt gets another good launch out of the cannon there, and he'll dive down in the turn 1 as your race leader still. Seeing the rest of the field kind of filing through right now. We have 2 drivers side by side here as we come through the dog leg. Just the rest of the pack right now trying to figure out where they can kind of fit in. A really good run there into turn 3 by the 24 of Philip Henry. He'll take 4th position away from Greg McDaniel there. And as you can see there, Joey, the rest of the pack just kind of starting to get single file here.
As you say that, we have another yellow out there on the racetrack. It looked like these guys up front were playing pretty nice. The one thing that I did see, though, is that number 2 car had some speed and was right on the leader, David Schutt. And let's go ahead and take a look at what happened here at this replay, as it looks like the 03 is in it, the wars once again. Let's see what view Jeffrey Maconi has here as they come out of turn 4. Looks like just got collected in front of them as, oh no, looks like 3 cars involved on the front straight. The 03, the 8, and I'm not sure what that other one was there that got collected. Looks like the 32.
Yeah, it's going to be the 32 of Jeremy Niven, but that was just kind of a classic not clear situation, if you ask me there, Joey. I think the one driver, I'm not entirely sure who it was there that got collected, but it looks like one driver just thought they were clear, and they weren't quite clear yet.
You're right. They were battling for position through 3 and 4, and once again, it comes down to that give and take, and he wasn't quite clear coming up out of 4, and unfortunately got collected up with a few cars, as looks like we might have a few takers for pit road. Looks like maybe only one. Looks like the number 41 car of Justin Mons is going to take this opportunity to come in, get some new rubber on that car.
Get some new rubber, maybe repair some of the damage if he was caught up in an earlier incident. And I do want to bring this up now, Joey, because I believe it's starting to become a factor. We're about 50 seconds away from 20 minutes left in our race session here. We're only on lap, I believe, 17 right now. Yeah, lap 17. It'll be lap 18 this time they cross the stripe. So time definitely starting to become a factor here when it comes to the lap count.
You are right. This will be a timed race, not a lap race anymore. But with that being said, we still got 25 minutes that we can get back to racing over here. And we'll see what things can shake up here. I'm really excited to see this number 2 car up here at the front. 99 has been stuck right there with them. Now, I was mentioning that it was pretty calm for those first 5 positions, but you were noticing that once you got back there, 8th, 10th, 14th, it was getting to be 2, 3, maybe even 4 wide.
It seems like that's just been the story of our race so far, as our leaders are able to get out to an early lead and kind of break away from the rest of the pack here. But after that, it's just it's towards the back of the field and kind of running mid-pack where these drivers are kind of running into some challenges. And you see that in real life racing as well, Joey. In NASCAR, you don't want to get caught up in the pack, especially if you have a fast car, because you just leave the door open to be caught up in incidents like we've seen happen tonight.
You're right. And, you know, I'm guilty of it all the time. If you don't have the best qualifying, you're back there kind of in the mix, and that's never a good place to be. You know, that's where people are racing really hard, and every inch is worth something. Racing up at the front, the guys are usually a little bit more well-mannered and take care of their stuff, and it's just the nature of racing and how it is.
Well, we always talk about that proverbial clean air as well. That really has to make a factor here, especially with these next-gen cars. I would say Phoenix is not the most aerodynamic heavy racetrack, but we're still in that mile to mile and a half category where, anything above a mile, really, your aerodynamics do become a factor. And there are a lot of a lot of cars here tonight that have damage. I was thinking ahead to my next series, which I'm covering the trucks, but a lot of these cars here tonight do have some kind of damage to them. It's really hard to go through the field, Joey, and see a driver here now as they line up 2x2 that hasn't had some kind of incident tonight.
Yeah, well, thankfully, here on the Fast Fridays, if you do get some damage, all of these competitors do have one fast repair. However, if you use that one fast repair and then get some damage on the car, you will have to make that call. Do you want to come and get that fixed, or is there not enough time loss on the racetrack out there? As it looks like these guys are rounding turn 4, getting back to going green here on lap 20.
Yeah, right you are, Joey. Side by side, the field is lined up about 12 rows deep here. The pace car will find the safety of pit road again. We'll see if David Schutt gets another early launch here. You've kind of seen that tonight, and there he goes right now, able to kind of stack the field up behind him, but we're back to green flag racing here at Phoenix. It's going to be side by side between Ricci and Shelton there for P3. Now Ricci will be able to get an advantage. It's a battle here for 5th place here between the 47 and the 64 machine. That's Joseph Glavaria and Joey Mazowitz. And Mazowitz trying to make that outside line work right now, but that car is getting a little bit tight on him there, Joey. He's kind of doing a great job to keep it off the wall right now.
Yeah, he was way up there scraping the wall, as it looks like the 47 is going to take that position away. I don't know if we caught it on camera, but it looked like the 41 of Justin Mons was making his way through the traffic like a madman out there on those brand new tires, making some amazing moves.
Oh, we got a car spinning, 32 in the background there, up against the wall. That's Jeremy Niven. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Joey, but that was coming off of turn 2 into the dog leg. The 32 just got turned there. We'll get a look and see what happened there. But able to collect the inside wall. If he hasn't used his fast repair yet, that will probably bring it out there. There's the 32 machine coming down the front stretch right now. Oh, and there was contact there with the 8. He was able to save it, but then the 03 machine of Maconi, I think, 3 wide there for a second. Really just nowhere for these cars to go. All looking for the same piece of real estate, and the 32 is the unfortunate receiver there, Jeremy Niven, of the consequences, Joey.
Yeah, it looked like the 32 was definitely being very aggressive out there on the racetrack as he got into the 8 going into the corner, and then looks like he was not aware of the 03 down below him on the low line once all of it unfolded. And just another yellow flag out here on the racetrack, and once again, I think time is going to become more of a factor than anything right now.
Yeah, you can see it there on your screen. Now 21 minutes and 40 seconds left in our race section here. I do want to apologize. I was looking at a different timing screen earlier, so I said there was 20 minutes left in the session. Thank you for correcting me, Joey. There was actually about 24 minutes. So now we're getting down to that 20-minute mark. Only in lap 23 here, so not quite halfway on our lap count. Now, if these guys do get a long green flag run, I'm sure we could probably get our lap count in still at this point, but right now, that doesn't seem to be probably what's going to happen here. One driver right now going around the field getting the lucky dog pass. I believe that's going to be Elijah Brown in the 25 machine. But Joey, just a really sporadic really sporadic pace to this race so far.
Yeah, I think we're really seeing the top 10, 15 cars really race clean and kind of get going single file, or at least be racing 2 wide. And just once you get there in the back of the pack, we were talking about it earlier, every inch is earned, and these guys are racing super hard. And unfortunately, there's just been a little bit more contact than I would like to see out there tonight. But it is racing, and these things do happen. And we'll see what we have for the rest of tonight's race.
And as we get to about the halfway point of our race here, we'll take a look at your top 10. That's David Schutt, Adam Ricci, Ryan Shelton, Philip Henry, Joseph Gravalia, Joey Mazowitz, Craig McDaniel, TJ Elaine, and Eric Lombard right now are your drivers in the top 10. There's a little bit of shuffling going on here as we get back to 2x2. You can see there the first car 1 lap down is Jeremy Niven after that last incident. Elijah Brown in the 25 machine is 2 laps down. And then Jeremiah Forbis and Colin Weatherholt are your 2 retirements from this race so far after getting caught up in early incidents. The field 2x2 again as they come out of turn number 4. The pace car will get used to that left-hand turn there. He'll take it again. Of course, the field in the control of David Schutzstill. He gets a really good restart this time. Just leaves Adam Ricci in the dust. So we're back to green flag racing here at Phoenix Raceway, and a little bit of contact there between the 47 and the 99 machine. That's going to allow the 64 of Joey Mazowitz to run that outside line, and we kind of mentioned it earlier as we have another yellow flag out on the racetrack. That's going to be the 93 of Ed Gobick, and Joey, we just can't get green flag racing going tonight, it seems like.
No, I think that there is a storm cloud over virtual Phoenix Raceway right now, and it is just raining on the racetrack right now. It certainly seems like things are slippery. See what happens here on this replay. It looks like he's just got aggressive and got down there on the apron, and around it went with the cold tires and the uneven banking.
Yeah, and he tries to make that aggressive run to the inside, and you can't really blame him. He has the run there as you look on board with Jeremy Niven after he was caught up in that last incident. Does a really good job of avoiding Ed Gobick that time, but you kind of saw there, Joey, Gobick got pinched to the inside, and it was a move of his own choice, but just so hard to get the car slowed down and rotated on that low line, and you saw he caught the apron there a little bit, and that's all it took to send his car around.
Yeah, I think his eyes were a little bit bigger than what they needed to be right there, as it seemed like he definitely has the faster car to get around for that position, and just took that early dive on that green flag and unfortunately got down on the apron. And once you get down there on that apron with the surface change and the banking change, it really makes the car unstable, and as we saw, just around it went.
Yeah, it really just unloads the weight off of the tires, and once that happens, especially in these next-gen machines, it's just pretty much impossible to hang on to them. You saw 2 cars pass the field there. That was Elijah Brown and Jeremy Niven. So Jeremy Niven's back on the lead lap, and Elijah Brown finds himself 1 lap down right now. And I think if you're the 25 machine of Elijah Brown there, Joey, I think you're kind of okay with what's happening right now. And right now, it looks like we're going to have a single file restart here, and David should again with the restarts all night long, Joey. He's just been doing such a good job of timing those and just leaves the field in the dust as soon as the green flag drops.
He's doing something different every single time on the restart, and he's keeping his competitors from being able to guess what his next move is going to be. As you've said, he's nailed every single restart as we've got 2 cars hard in the wall on the dog leg.
Oh, the 41 too.
And
the 41 of Justin Mons there got collected, Joey.
Yeah, he got collected on the very, very end. Unfortunately, that wreck had already happened as we see the number 8 car once again. Seems like he's just been a target out there. Looks like the 97 gets high up into the wall. 8 just gets loose and unfortunately collects another car. And as you see, the Justin Mons 41 trying to get through underneath and unfortunately just can't squeak by.
And I was watching that one out of the corner of my eye, actually, Joey, from a second angle we have here up in the booth. And I saw the checkup of the field, and I didn't see much contact after that, so I thought everybody got through that all right. But not enough there for the 8 machine to be able to get through. The kind of homage there to the Dale Earnhardt Jr. It would have been the 2001 Pepsi 400 he won in that livery, or is that the Daytona 500 livery that he won in, Joey? Can you correct me on that? Are you a Dale Jr. historian?
We'd have to refer to Jeff Maconi for that one. I'm not sure which exact livery he's out there trying to replicate or rocking tonight.
Yeah, and kind of funny there you mentioned that Maconi would know about that. A little look behind the scenes here at Maconi Entertainment and some of our notes here. Jeff Maconi put the little tidbit here that, of course, this track was renamed to Jeff Gordon Raceway one time, Joey, and that, of course, is to honor the greatest race car driver of all time, Dale Earnhardt. But I don't think that's quite correct.
You know, it's just so odd that they would name it Jeff Gordon in honor of Dale Earnhardt, isn't it?
Yeah, we might have to fact check that one, get Snopes on the case here.
All good fun over here. I love making everything fun, especially, you know, when tonight's race, like we said, there's kind of a storm cloud over Phoenix right now, so we got to lighten it up a little bit.
Yeah, we're almost invoking the Daryl Waltrip vortex theory. I think that works in reverse, but right now the vortex are bringing all the proverbial storm clouds, as you mentioned, kind of here into Phoenix Raceway and just really tearing all of this field up. I will say one driver that's been able to avoid everything, well, actually kind of two drivers, the 5 machine and the 2 machine, that's David Schutt and Adam Ricci, really just doing a good job pacing this field so far. And I kind of want to go back to that last caution that we have there, Joey. I mean, if you're these drivers, yeah, you want to get a green flag run under your belt, but at the same time, we're running out of time here. And if these restarts keep happening, you're going to have to get all those positions that you can off the jump.
Yeah, as it looks like we're going to be going green here once again, and David Schutt doing something different. Again, look at how much he's got everybody stacked up early. Starting to carry some momentum here out of 4 as we approach the green flag. And he jumps a little bit later, but not nearly as big of a gap here as the number 2 car of Adam Ricci is really on the bumper as they enter turn 1 here. This is the closest restart we've had all night.
Yeah, Ricci really did a great job there trying to time the start of Schutt. And Schutt right now is kind of reminding me almost of Tony Stewart when he got in trouble at Homestead. Miami Speedway. NASCAR kind of gave him the, hey man, you're kind of screwing with the field on all the restarts. But just the way that he's been able to switch up how he does the restart every single time as we come to 28 laps to go this time by. And David Schutt has led every single lap of this race so far, Joey.
Yeah, I think the pace car might be out there challenging him for the lap lead count, but this is the closest the top 5, really top 6 has been all night. That number 2 car once again tucked up on the spoiler of our leader as the 24 of Philip Henry is now entering the mix area. He wants a shot at that lead.
And you see that time on that onboard shot, Joey, just how much braking is going on. And these next-gen cars have those larger brake rotors and those larger diameter tires. So a bit of adjustment we might be seeing here from our drivers tonight, kind of getting used to this next-gen car. That, of course, was the 24 machine of Henry we were on board here. And Schutt, Ricci, and Henry have just had a battle here for our podium position so far. With 27 laps to go, make it 26 as they take the flag this time by, or excuse me, they cross the start-finish line this time by. And right now, your top 5, Schutt, Ricci, Henry, Mazowitz, and Grajlia. Right now, I apologize. I really think I'm struggling with that name, Joey. If you can correct me on that one.
If I was to guess, if I was a betting man, I would say Grijalva?
Yeah, Grijalva, I think, is right. I'm just having a hard time getting the J and the L. We look on board with a 209 machine of Bob Hoog right now, trying to work underneath the 23 of Veldhuizen. He looks like he's going to get a really good run here coming off of 4, and they'll be side by side down the front stretch. We'll see if he's able to get the break into turn 1 here. And really a good job there by the 23 to run on the outside. We go on board now with Jeffrey Maconi. And that's not Jeff Maconi. There's Jeff Maconi with the VR setup. And look at that. He's even got the sequential shifter, Joey.
Yeah, he is all out right now in his living room down there as he's battling for 12th place, it looks like. And I know that he's been in the thick of everything as he's side by side out of 4 and into 1. He's got 2 cars on his outside. The 41 of Justin Mons is right there, too. And I know that Justin is not going to give up that place easy. He's going to be looking for a way to make it 3 wide here with Jeff Maconi.
And
looks like the 41's going to take it 3 wide down there into the inside.
And I was just going to point out, Joey, just some great shots of this battle here from our producer, Ryan Bauer. I really love that one shot looking out the back window there to just see how close those cars are running side by side down the front straightaway. And that side draft here at Phoenix even is important. You can kind of get that side draft, slow the car down next to you, and Maconi doing a good job getting up through the field. Now we go on board with Joey Matt, leader David Schutt, and you see him up ahead there. Just go back to the onboard here. Now we're with Ricci, who's trying to chase down Schutt right now, but Schutt's able to figure something out here on this little bit of a green flag run. Joey, he finds himself now at about a 1.5 second advantage.
Yeah, I think the number 64 car there might have a little bit of speed on the 2, as it looks like the 2 has got a few cars that he's holding up behind, and I wouldn't say holding up. I bet you they're all running the same speed, but I'm wondering maybe if one of these cars gets around Adam Ricci, if they have something for our leader.
Well, and right now, Ricci last time by ran a 28.474 compared to the leader's 28.4 flat. Joey Mazowitz ran a 28.5. So you mentioned it, Joey. All kind of similar lap times here as we're going to have 20 laps to go when they cross the stripe this time by. You're looking at the 47 machine of Joseph Grijalva. Gosh, I'm really struggling with that one. I'm going to get it one time tonight, and there's Joey Mazowitz on the outside. Philip Henry in the 24 machine is trying to make this a three-car battle right now, and he'll get to the inside of Mazowitz as they head down the front straightaway and try to make the pass heading into turn one, Joey.
Yeah, the 64 car ran the Darlington line around 3 and 4 the last time, scraping the wall, trying to carry that momentum, and unfortunately it didn't quite pay off for him as he got pinched out of 4. Looks like he's going to run that high line again through 3 and 4 as he's just kind of forced out there, but able to tuck it in and once again get in line as it looks like 47 car is now putting the pressure on our second place runner of Adam Ricci, but David Schutt. Yeah, you know, I know David Schutt from a few other leagues, and this dude is a machine when he gets out front, and this is the last thing the competitors want to see is that purple car running away right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look now, he finds himself, last time we mentioned him, he had a 1.5 second advantage and has almost now doubled that over the 47 machine. You see the 47 and the 2 here battling side by side down the front stretch again. 47 is just going to get a little bit better of a braking zone, and we've seen some of the drivers try to make that top line work now as we go on board with Adam Ricci in this battle for second place. We've seen some drivers try to make that outside line work, Joey, but just not able to hold on and carry as much momentum as they would like so far, it seems.
You're right, but I have noticed that 47 car has gotten around Adam Ricci. We're going to see if he can maybe put a dent in that gap to our leader. Maybe leave this third, fourth, fifth place car in its dust. But I wonder if we're going to start to see some lapped traffic come into play as this leader is definitely starting to run into some of these slower cars maybe here in a few laps.
And lap traffic could be a factor here for our leader and allow some of these other drivers to kind of make up some positions. The lap times have fallen off a little bit. You're now seeing about 29-second lap times. We're seeing 28.5 a few seconds ago, and here's on board with our leader, David Schutt. Lap traffic, I don't see any in front of him so far, Joey, but you mentioned it. The farther and farther we go into this latest green flag run, it could be a factor.
Yeah, you're right. And he's got a clean windshield out front of him right now, so it looks like that traffic will not be a factor, at least for a few more minutes. But as you were mentioning, things can get mixed up pretty fast, and all of a sudden it can be a very crowded racetrack when it once was very empty.
Yeah, so Schutt in the lead, Grijalva in P2, Ricci and Henry. This is the battle you see on your screen right now for P3, or final podium spot. Henry's going to look to the inside of Ricci here. He's going to try to outbrake him going into turn 3, but we've seen a lot of drivers struggle with that turn so far. A little bit of a moment possibly from the 2 car. We've seen a few cars try to run that outside line, Joey, and kind of have a moment going into 3. You see a little bit of a wiggle out of the car that time by.
I'm really proud of the racing that this number 2 car is putting out. I think that some of these other cars might be a little bit faster on pace, but he's out there running his race, you know, racing everybody clean, and that's what I love to see out here as we looks like we ride on the number 6 car battling for 7th place here. As they go 2 wide, the number 64 and number 6 car there. 6 car overtakes coming out of turn 4 will claim that position.
You know, something I've noticed about that 64 car of Mazowitz, who finds himself in 7th position right now, is he's really committed to that top line, Joey. He's not like Adam Ricci here, who's trying to run the bottom of the racetrack. And I think it might be because we're at this 2008 configuration. I think drivers who are maybe used to the newer configuration, the newer scan here on iRacing, are used to those multiple grooves. But I really think this is a single groove racetrack right now, as you can see just how much that Ricci's feathering the throttle, just trying to put as much power down as he can. But that race car has got to be really loose right now, especially on these old tires. Maybe a little bit of a bump there from Krieger. He's going to try to lurk his way down on the inside now and battle him coming off of turn 2, Joey.
Yeah, the 8 car definitely got his nose down the inside there and was able to sneak on through, able to grab that position as it looks like the number 6 car is actually going to follow through, as we call follow the hammer there. But one thing that I'm noticing right now, Ian, That David Shutt car, our leader, is not the fastest car on the racetrack. His gap is slowly decreasing as that 47 car is starting to hunt him down.
Yeah, you mentioned it. The lap times are starting to get closer and closer here for the 47 machine, and he can see David Shutt in his windshield there. And, you know, we're coming to 10 laps to go. This time they cross the stride. If you're the driver of that 47 machine, I know Joseph's up on the wheel and just trying to do everything he can to try to find something here to gain that lap time back. And he's doing a good job of it right now. You can see that gap is steadily decreasing. It kind of gains up a little bit here coming out of turn 2, but he's making some dent in it so far.
I've been watching this race very closely with our leaders, and he's been chunking out a tenth every lap, sometimes 2/10. But the last time around, let's see here, David Shutt just turned a 29.69 to a 29.57, so another tenth and a half taken out of that lead as he slowly is trying to claw his way up to the leader.
Yeah, Grijalva trying to do all he can right now for P2. This is your battle for P3 on back. It's number 8 on the car, but number 37 on your timing tower. And Krieger, and then you've got Elaine and Henry trying to run each other down. Really, it's more of a battle right now between the 6 of Elaine and the 37 or 8 on your screen of Krieger. But Henry there has been trying to make it a 3-car battle here for the past couple of laps, but he's fallen off a little bit recently, Joey.
Yeah, I think this is the closest battle that we've got on the racetrack for some positions. You're right, the number 8 car has kind of found his way up. He's been in a lot of action tonight and has kind of made his way right back up there. The number 6 car following him. And looks like we got a little bit more action too wide as Henry dips up that outside line and will lose that place to Justin Mons. Another car making his way back up to the front.
I think if you're the 24 machine of Henry here, Joey, I think you're struggling with tires a little bit because we're starting to see him backslide there. He lost that position. The Mons looks like he's going to try to get now. We are on board with the lane. This is your battle for 3rd place here. This is starting to heat up a little bit. He's going to try to look to the outside here on Krieger, but I don't think it's going to be enough, at least this time by. It's going to be 6 laps to go here as they cross the stripe, and we're coming close to Barney the Flagman giving these drivers the high five, and it's still all David Shutt here at the front of your field. He's got about a 1.5-second lead there on Chevalier. And right now, if you're David Shutt, you're just trying to click these laps away as fast as you possibly can, Joey.
Definitely, I think fastest car on the racetrack right now is the number 41 of Justin Mons. I think that one of the most recent yellows, he was involved in it and probably got some fresh tires, and he's making those pay off right now as the 2 cars in front of him, Brandon Geiger and TJ Elaine, are battling it out, and that sucks the 41 up with a great run through the dog leg, gives him a little bit of nudge, says, hey, I'm here. I'm going to poke my nose down to the inside of turn 3 right here.
And that 41 Camaro is fast right now. You mentioned he must have picked up tires or just conserved his tires right now, but that 41 machine is on rails and now trying to run down a lane in the P3 position. That's the 6 machine you see out the windshield right now. They're still about 6 seconds back from the leader. I don't think he's going to have enough time to get all the way up to the front, Joey, but definitely has a shot at a podium position here tonight.
Yeah, we are winding down with laps. You know, I'm going to put my foot in my mouth again. I thought we were going to hit the time limit, but it looks like we will hit the lap limit here as these guys have made a good, clean last half of the race. I got my eyes still on this 41 car, though. It looks like he wants that 3rd position. If he's got the fresher tires on right now, I think he's definitely the car to watch.
Yeah, but you can't be too aggressive. We've seen how easy it is to get these cars to snap around, so if you're Mons, you're running out of time a little bit, but you got to be patient. You see he starts to make the move to the inside of Elaine there. Elaine collects the wall a little bit. Just a slight tap to the 6 car there. I do believe he was letting Mons go, realizing that he was the faster car, and just kind of caught that wall a little bit, Joey.
Yeah, I think he was just up there in the outer groove, and there's not quite as much room, but looks like he is trying to fight back here out of turns 1 and 2.
Oh, they were close.
Too wide through the dog leg, but Justin is going to have this preferred line going into turn 3.
Oh, man, and if you're Krieger here, you're just sitting here licking your chops saying, go ahead, guys, go ahead, take each other out, and I'll take both the positions. But while that's going on, We have the white flag for our leader here, David Schutt. That's 1 lap to go. And really just a dominating run from David Schutt from the drop of the green flag. Of course, he was our pole sitter here tonight, Joey, and just able to hang on through all the adversity tonight, all these cautions that we have. He's going to wheel his number 5 machine around turns 3 and 4, and just a masterful drive here tonight from David Schutt. And he's going to take your checkered flag here from our first round of Fast Fridays at Phoenix Raceway here for Maconi Setup Shop. Oh, you got one driver tapping the wall.
Yeah, big off of the wall. You know, coming here, I think we're going to see quite a few cars just give it everything that they got out of turn 4 as they come across the start-finish line, grabbing that checkered flag. Once again, a shout out to David Schutt, our race winner here at Phoenix on the Maconi Entertainment Fast Friday tonight. Like you said, he led every single lap. He was our pole sitter. And an impressive performance out there. Not something I am unused to seeing out of David Schutt. I'll say that, though.
Yeah, and just led from drop a green flag to the fall of the checkered flag. It was David Schutt's race all night long. We take a look at your results now. Joseph Dravalia from Texas, and I do apologize, man. I know I messed your name up so bad, but you finished second, so you did a great job, and you fought through the adversity of the pronouncers not able to pronounce your name. Justin Mons in the 41 machine out of Florida will come across in third, so we hope you're doing all right down there, Justin, in Florida. Hopefully Hurricane Ian didn't mess you up too bad. TJ Elaine in the 6 car, P4. Brandon Krieger, P5. Ricky Thompson, 6th position. Philip Henry, 7th position. Bob Hugh in the 209 car, 8th position. Adam Ricci, 9th after a dominant run so far from Ricci. Kind of surprising to see him there in the 9th position. And then rounding out the top 10, hey, it's Jeff Maconi there, Joey.
Yeah, I see that he did grab that 10th place position. Props to Jeff there. Looks like in 11th place, we got Jesse Main. 12th place, Joey Maswich. 13th, Julian Ricci. 14th, Dustin Veldhusen. And then there in 15th, we got Eric LaBombard. In 16th position, Elijah Brown. Followed by Jeremy Niven. Anthony Taylor there in 18th. Greg McDaniel in 19th. And Ryan Shelton rounding out the top 20.
And the rest of your cars will be on your screen right now. Ed Gobick caught up in a few accidents. He's going to finish 21st. Colin Weatherhort caught up in that early accident. He was the one that spun there on our initial start. He's going to finish in the 22nd position. 23rd, Jeremiah Forbes. 24th, Dominic Scafidi. 25th, Dominic Calloway. 26th, Dick McClellan. 27th, Ray Lane. 28th, Michael Charlie. 30th, Louis Philippe Lavitier. And the 31st position rounding out your cars tonight is going to be Austin Taylor, 61 laps down. So a few of the drivers there you see at the end of our results, not even starting the race tonight. But really, just a great turnout here for our first week of Fast Fridays, Joey. That was some exciting racing once it got to green flag racing. If we got a bunch of green flag laps in a row, I'd be interested to see if there's maybe going to be a little bit more fall off there from our leader. And we're trying to get a hold of him right now, give him a few more seconds here to get him started and situated. But just some excellent racing we saw here tonight from Phoenix once the green flag finally stayed out for a few laps, Joey.
Yeah, you know, I was really excited to see the yellow flags kind of die down a little bit once we got everything rolling. A very commanding performance by David Schutt in that purple PG-13 Camaro out there. Very impressive, dominating win. We touched on it throughout the broadcast. Every single restart, he seemed to do something a little bit different. And just keep the competitors on the toes, whether it was a double file restart or a single file restart. Just seemed to have the edge on the competition. We did see a little bit of another car there, the number 47 car, come up and challenge him and was a little bit faster at the end of the race there. Would have been cool to see that develop through 60 laps for sure.
It would definitely be a sight to see. And I don't think we're going to get our winner here tonight, Joey. So I'm standing by with our second place driver. It's the number 47 machine of Joseph Grijalva. And Joseph, I just want to say off the bat, if you go back and watch the broadcast, I want to apologize in advance because that was possibly the first time I pronounced your last name correctly. And if I didn't pronounce it correctly, now is your time to correct me.
No, you good. That's pretty dead on. You won't be the last one, and it's no hard feelings, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, and so you came across P2 tonight, and Joey and I were up here talking about it in the latter stages of this race, kind of the last couple of laps there. It looks like you actually had something for our eventual race winner. What did you see from your perspective, and what do you need to just get that little bit of extra speed to come home with the victory tonight?
So my biggest thing with these cars is just slow and smooth, as weird as it sounds. Early entry, it gets a huge runoff exit because the cars have less power and all that good stuff. But I gotta thank David too because I watched his lap times in qualifying and practice, and it gave me some tips. But I'm glad I can race with guys like him that have such high rating, and it's a great learning experience. So he made me faster as well during practice watching him, and I think if we had some more time, I might have caught him. I don't know about pass him, but definitely caught him.
Yeah, it's definitely one thing to catch them. It's another thing to pass them. So next week we go road racing here on Fast Fridays over at the Tsukuba circuit in Japan. Are you going to join us next week? And if so, what are your thoughts going into Tsukuba? Have you ever raced one of these next gen cars on a road course before?
So my first time around was at Watkins Glen for the Sim 500 series. Very fast guys there, a lot of pros from what I understand. And I came out ninth. So this car, something about it, it clicks with my brain, and I like it. I might just be there Friday.
Well, and that was the number 47 machine, Joseph Grijalva. I think I got that right again this time. Is there anybody you want to shout out that helps you get it done out there on the racetrack, Joseph?
Absolutely. My family, dad, sister, wife, um, everybody watching. Thanks to Maconi for putting this on. His events are really awesome. And gotta thank the car sponsor, of course, Fram Auto Light. They're supporting me in my racing habits, and I'm glad we can put them up here in the show with the name as big as Maconi. I hope to do it some more.
We appreciate your time here tonight, Joseph, and congratulations on your P2 finish here from Phoenix.
Thank you.
And that was Joseph Grijala, your P2 finisher tonight. And now we're going to stand by with, let's see here. We have David Shutt now in the honor. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take David here, Joey, and I'm actually going to give you the honor of interviewing our race winner here tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, David, it is great to have you find your way into the commentary booth tonight. Quite a commanding performance by you out there. What did you think of your first Fast Friday?
Once we started going, it was fun. Unfortunately, the first half was pretty tedious, just trying to stay in it and not not leave early. But yeah, the second part of the race was okay. I don't know if Joseph had newer tires or whatever, but he was coming pretty fast, and then we started to even out, and I really wasn't worried too much about it.
Yeah, it looked like it was a little bit slow to start with there, but once the green flag really got going and you guys had that long green flag run to finish it, you really had a very dominant performance. One thing that we talked about all race was your restarts, David. And it seemed like every single time you did a restart, you did something different, which kept everybody on their toes. And was that your kind of thought behind that, or do you have a process that you go through for every restart?
No, I just try to change it up every time. That way, you don't know what to expect. I think it was the last restart or whatever. The second place car was actually pushing me, and I was on the brakes. So that one didn't go well. But yeah, I got him all the rest of the time. So yep.
Well, thank you for coming out and racing here on the Maconi Entertainment Fast Friday. We hope to see you at future Maconi events. Is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to or give a plug to?
Yeah, first off, want to thank PG-13 for all the support. And I'd also like to give a special shout out to Colin for taking out 10 cars on the first lap. That definitely helped me out a lot. So shout out to him for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Big shout out to Colin Weatherholt there, helping out with your competition, I guess. But David, thank you very much for coming out and racing tonight, and congratulations on the race win.
Thanks, guys.
And that got me a little bit there with David giving the shout out to Colin there for the incident there at the beginning of our field. But we're standing by with our third place finisher here, Justin Mons. And Justin, I gotta ask, in the latter half of that race, with about 15 to 10 laps to go, it looks like you had one of the fastest cars on the racetrack out there. What did you find there to get you that extra speed?
Learning to roll 1 and 2 a lot more really paid off. And then just navigating through the field, trying to maintain your run when you got it. Try not to lift as much as possible on the exit. And we made it count. I don't think the fresher rubber played a factor there, in my opinion, but I'll leave that up for debate.
Well, and that was kind of our hypothesis up here in the booth was that you might have had the fresher tires, but maybe didn't make much of a difference as we thought you did up here in the booth. Then you out there are actually in the car. But let me ask you this: it was kind of a sporadic pace of the race all night long, a lot of caution flags, a lot of restarts. How was that for you? Did that kind of work in your favor, or was that kind of a struggle for you mentally?
Whenever I pitted by myself, I was kind of worried. With the time clock going down, I kept keying up, going, "Come on, guys, let's get some racing in," because I want to try and see if this strat would play off. And that last stretch of the finish was a lot of fun for me. Driving through the field, I think I restarted like 18th to finish on the podium. I mean, I had to do quite a bit of moving and shaking, and it was a lot of fun. It wasn't easy, but especially like fourth and fifth place, that was a lot of fun. Like we were hanging on each other's doors for a few laps. It was a lot of fun.
Well, a lot of fun tonight. Able to end up P3 for you here. Next week we go to Tsukuba Circuit here on Fast Fridays, presented by Maconi Setup Shop. Can we expect to see you there? And if so, what are you looking forward to at Tsukuba?
If I can, I'll try to. I have to put in a little bit of laps at Tsukuba. I'm not 100% familiar with that track, so I'll be definitely taking advantage of the pre-lobby time.
Well, that was Justin Mons, your third place finisher tonight. And Justin, we appreciate you taking some of your time up here and talking to us in the Maconi Entertainment booth. And congratulations on your third place finish again.
Appreciate it, guys.
And again, that was Justin Mons, your third place finisher here tonight from the Phoenix Raceway. And again, we want to give a big shout out to our race winner, David Shutt. And Joey, I'll kick it over to you. Any closing thoughts here from Phoenix Raceway?
I loved the race tonight. It took a little while to get going, but I thought the action was great. I was really excited to be here with Maconi Entertainment and call the Fast Friday as we get this series back going. I can't wait to see what the action brings us in the future, and I'm really excited to see what's next.
Yeah, just a great drive from all of our drivers here tonight. And again, on behalf of Maconi Setup Shop, Maconi Entertainment, Maconi Competizione, and all the other various business ventures that Jeff Maconi has, we want to thank all of our drivers for coming out here tonight. And I want to personally thank you, Joey, for coming and calling this race with me, and especially Ryan Bauer, our producer here in the booth. Really great job from him all night long. And we hope that all of you that watched tonight are still doing okay. If you happen to find yourself affected by Hurricane Ian, our thoughts and prayers are with you here at Maconi Setup Shop. So again, we hope that if you were affected by Hurricane Ian, this was some kind of respite for you tonight. And we hope that you join us again next week from the Tsukuba Circuit. Should be a lot of fun. Joey, that'll be in 1 week's time here on Maconi Entertainment.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely really excited to see that race, and I think we might see a different variety of drivers out front, given that it is a road course instead of the oval. Just a different thing for these competitors to prepare for, and it's great. It should be a lot of fun.
And again, that's going to be in 1 week time here again on Maconi Entertainment. And for myself, Ian Fisher, again, for Joey in the booth with me here, and then also Ryan Bauer, our producer, we thank you for watching this presentation of Maconi Entertainment and bid you all a great evening.